the woke media did what it does best last week. Destroyed the reputations of 3 previously respected men on the basis of flimsy evidence while giving them virtually no right of reply. The way this sort of drama plays out in the media these days is both inevitable and frightening. The price paid by individuals who should be considered innocent until proven guilty is inconsequential to journalists chasing clicks and opportunities to signal their virtues. The allegations on this occasion were made against Alastair Clarkson, who had coached the Hawthorn AFL Football Club to 4 premierships in the 17 years to 2021, and Chris Fagan, his deputy for part of that time, who is now the senior coach of the Brisbane Lions. The timing was conspicuous, coming in the week when many Australians were getting excited about the AFL Grand Final on Saturday. The allegations were heinous. Clarkson, Fagan and another staff member, Jason Burt, allegedly pressured some young Indigenous players to break up with their partners. One player's girlfriend was pressured to abort a pregnancy, which she did. On another occasion, Clarkson and other Hawthorn staff allegedly drove a young Indigenous player to the house he shared with his pregnant girlfriend, collected his things and helped him move out. The girlfriend later miscarried. Her alleged attempts to contact the father through the club, even via the police, all failed. These allegations are heartbreaking if they're true. But there are many aspects to these stories that are just as disturbing regardless of whether the allegations are true or not. Firstly, the ABC story was based on an independent investigation commissioned by the Hawthorn Football Club that interviewed the accusers but not the accused. The report is still not published, but somehow the ABC was able to interview some of the people featured in it. Worse, the ABC did not identify the accusers, but did identify the accused. And the ABC mostly dispensed with the legally polite caveat that these were allegations. Instead, it reported the allegations almost entirely as undisputed facts. When I started in journalism over 30 years ago, it was standard practice in situations like this to adopt a similar approach to the one taken in criminal trials. That is, assume innocence until proven otherwise and grant accusers anonymity in only the most extenuating circumstances. We did this because it was the decent thing to do and because the laws of defamation could impose serious penalties if we were wrong. Neither of these standards applies so much anymore. These days, it's not only acceptable to air allegations of racism, it's positively encouraged. It begins a cycle that generates enormous amounts of clicks and newspaper sales as the commentators subsequently join the pile-on. Gideon Hay, for example, who is normally a very clever and observant sports journalist for The Australian, gave the allegations substantial credence 2 days after the ABC's first report. He said, quote, "What should disturb football is not so much that the stories are outlandish or incredible, but the opposite, that they fall comfortably within the bounds of the conceivable," unquote. Hay also said the nature of the investigation, which was the result of an investigator seeking testimony rather than accusers speaking out of their own volition, meant there was, quote unquote, no sense in Clarkson, Fagan and Burt complaining about a lack of due process.